again, and welcome to another episode of I Want to Talk About This Album. And today, I'm going to talk about Peter Criss's 1978 solo album. Some might say it's a solo album. I consider it a Kiss album, but I guess colloquially we'll refer to it as a solo album. It seems that that's what Kiss fans like to do. I don't know, but I am going to talk about it now. Before I start, I've got some good news and some bad news. The bad news first. The bad news is, yes, I'm going to be talking about Peter Criss's 1978 solo album. The good news is, I've completed my Kiss vinyl collection. There were. I guess I got. I was at El Chopo a week and a half ago. And I got two. Well, I got one at El Chopo. There were I think 5 that I needed. I got 2 on that same day. I got one at El Chopo, and I got one on the way to El Chopo. I was walking past with my friend Adriana and saw a record store, went in and found a great price on one of the other ones I needed. And then this week, earlier this week, a couple days ago on Amazon, 2 of the other ones that I've never seen before. When I've seen, they've been horribly expensive. They suddenly became available on Amazon for a fair price, so I got those. One was shipped today. The other one will probably be shipped tomorrow. I will have them very shortly. I think really there's 2 that I need. Well, I'll tell you. Sonic Boom I don't have. From what I understand, that's pretty much impossible to get on vinyl, so I'm not even looking for that. If you have any leads, if you want to gift me one, that would be swell. But it's not a priority to get Sonic Boom. And Double Platinum, if I saw it, I would get it, even used, but it's not, compilations. I don't know. And I don't care about smashes, thrashes, hits. I don't care about that. And some of the other compilations, there's no way I care about those. But anyway, I have completed, as far as I know, my Kiss collection on vinyl. All right. So this one I'm doing today, Peter Criss. The reason I'm doing this today, Peter Criss, is not by request, but maybe by pressure. I think by peer pressure. There's this guy, he calls himself Mike Pratt. I have a feeling that's not even his real name. But, he's a faithful viewer, a loyal viewer, and I like to please people. I think I'm a people pleaser. And he's been saying for months how much he loves this Peter Criss album. And, he told me, he's told me several times, he comes to me crying, I think basically tears in his eyes, big guy, strong guy, Mike Pratt. And he comes to me and he says, "Sir, could you please talk about Peter Criss's 1978 solo album?" And, Peter Criss, he's the cat man. He's the original drummer for Kiss, he's Peter Criss, not his real name. A lot of people don't know that, but he is the original Catman, Peter Criss. And I think this album, I've cited it many times as the worst album ever recorded in the history of music. Some might even say the annals of music. It's the worst album ever created. I think so. I think it makes like Don Dokken, Up From the Ashes. It makes that record look like, I don't know, Led Zeppelin 4, Abbey Road, whatever you want to, compare it to. This album sucks in every way. I really can't say anything good about it, as you'll see when I get to it track by track. I had to listen to it today, and what an endurance it was. Give me a medal for listening to this horrible album. I think I've listened to this album in full in my life, I want to say 3 or 4 times. Yeah, that's it. And I had to take notes. It's a sad day when I have to take notes for a Kiss album. I do this sometimes with albums that I'm not familiar with, and I should be familiar with all Kiss albums, but this album sucks so bad that I'm not familiar with it, so I had to write some notes. And if you can see, the notes are pretty short. There's not too much to say about this record. That's why I'm vamping. I think they call this vamping. I'm doing this. I'm extending. And I can't even say, I can kind of say why I don't like it. And I even knew this record came out in 1978. I got it, I think I didn't have it at the time. I know I had Aces and Jeans at or around the time they came out. Peter's I didn't get, I want to say I got it a year or two later, maybe in 79 or 80. Paul's I didn't get until maybe around 84, 85. Don't know why. But even then, so I was like 9 or 10 years old when I got Peter Criss's 1978 solo album. And even then, I was a dumb 9 or 10-year-old kid, but I knew enough that this album sucked. And I'm 54 now, and I still think this album sucks. Probably now more than ever, if that's possible. So I had to listen to it today, and it's not good. And I know a lot of people, they love Peter Criss's voice and Kiss, and I can understand that. I think, I was going to say Got to Choose, Nothing to Lose, that, especially the live version, that's Peter Criss with all his power. He does have a great voice. But this album, he doesn't sing with any passion, I don't think. He doesn't have any like big screams. There's no real great delivery. Not to mention the songs suck. And every song has, either saxophone or strings or horns or something like that. I don't mind that. Backing vocals. I think there's like these big female backing vocals. I don't care about that. Tomorrow and Tonight on Love Gun, the last song on side 1, has the female backing vocals. It sounds great because that's a great song. But in the context of this album, it's just such a big album that goes absolutely nowhere. It sucks. And I think and I guess also, you expect, when you're a Kiss fan, you expect a good rock album, and this is not a rock album. It's everything. It's I don't know, is it R&B? Can a white guy be R&B? I don't know. It's pop, it's countryish, it's just shit. It's garbage. This album sucks horribly. It sucks worse than anything. Really, that's how I feel about it. So I guess that's it. I will talk about it now. I'll try to get through the track by track. I think it's not going to take very long because I don't have much to say. So here's the actual record itself. Now, I have to say, I do love this album cover. I would even say, Kiss has awesome album covers. Over the years, I think I've realized if you took the 4 solo album covers like this and considered this like one Kiss album cover, it's maybe better than Love Gun, Destroyer, Rock and Roll Over, Hotter Than Hell. Might be the greatest Kiss album cover ever. They're paintings, but they just look so good. I love the colors that each of them had. Amazing album cover, although they all are. That's not really a good thing about Peter Criss's album. So I got this copy at El Chopo. And speaking of El Chopo, I think I'll be returning to El Chopo only 3 weeks apart. I was there, as I said, a week and a half ago. I'll be going again, as far as I know, on February 17th, because I'm going to Mexico City on a Saturday to see Danko Jones. He's playing in Mexico City. It's on a Saturday, and as I've said before, words of wisdom, words to live by. It's impossible to be in Mexico City on a Saturday and not go to El Chopo, so I think I will. So I got this 6 months ago, or maybe more, at El Chopo. It was only 250 pesos, which is fair, 200 maybe. It's a little bit beat up here, and it is an original one. It is an American one. It's not the Mexican one with the Spanish, the poorly translated Spanish song titles. But there it is, and of course it does not have the poster, but it does have the original inner sleeve, which is the 4 of them. God, I love this so much. Love it. And this was weird. Of the 4, Peter's was the only one that had the credits and the liner notes on a separate sleeve. As far as I remember, the other ones were all on the back, all the credits and the liner notes. But for Peter's album, they were all on this separate insert. And this was to Ace, Paul, Gene, and to Michael Benvenga. I don't know who that is. But they dedicated the albums to each other. And Peter added Michael Benvenga. I'm not sure who he is. And let's see, the record itself, I guess it has Peter's face on the record. On the label, I mean. Yeah. Yeah, there he is. All right. Let me get this back in there. And here we go. I'm about to talk about this piece of shit record. If you say you like this record, I have a hard time believing you, I think. Really, there's nothing to like about this record. And I guess it depends on when you heard it. But if you're a Kiss fan and you say you like this, the only reason is because it says Kiss Kiss over here. If this had somebody else's name on it, there's no way as a Kiss fan you would like it. You don't want pop, R&B, country as a Kiss fan. But you're loyal, so you claim to like it. So let me go through it here now. I'll try to get my way through it. So the first song is, and I mentioned earlier about all the backing vocals, and I got off track. The backing vocals and the saxophones and the horns and the strings and everything, and they're on every single song. It's just too much. There's just nothing. There's no rock on this album, and Gene's album was a little bit weird too, but I love Gene's album, and I'm going to talk about that one day, maybe even soon. So, all right, the first song is called I'm Gonna Love You. And so on my notes here, it's shit. This song is shit. And I just wrote that it's kind of a honky-tonk song, and it's probably the closest thing to rock on this whole album, but it's shit. The next song, number 2, is You Matter to Me. This is fucking shit, and it's basically a disco song. And I don't mind disco, but I don't want Kiss disco, although, you could argue that I Was Made for Loving You, which I love, and some other songs on Dynasty or Dynasty, that they're, kind of disco, even Unmasked, but at least to me, they were good songs. But You Matter to Me is disco, and it's shit. Fucking shit disco. Next, number 3 is Tossin' and Turnin'. This is shark shit. And I think this was a single. This was the one they played live when they toured after. Each one of them got a song. Ace did Near a Groove, Gene did Radioactive, Paul did Move On, and Peter did Tossin' and Turnin'. It's a cover, I think. I should check that. Tossin' and Turnin' is a cover, right? Or at least written by someone outside of Tossin' and Turnin'. Yeah, it's written by... it's from 1961. R. Adams, M. Renee. I don't know who those people are. Yeah, it's not a good song. It's like the rest of it. It's shark shit, as I said. Next, number 4 is Don't You Let Me Down. This one is if the other one was shark shit, this one is megalodon shit. It's even worse. I think each song is worse than the one that came before it. This is just it's a low energy ballad. It's one of many ballads on this record. And again, I have no problem with ballads. Make them good. These are not shit because they're ballads. They're shit and they're ballads. They're separate. Next is That's the Kind of Sugar Papa Likes. This is like 400-pound gorilla shit. It's just garbage. That's the last song on side 1, and there's nothing to like about it. Zero. Don't lie and say that you like it, Kiss fans, Kiss nerds, Kiss apologists. Next is on the other side, Easy Thing, another horrible ballad. This is giraffe shit. Imagine, giraffe is a big animal. I think like the largest predator in Africa, and if you're standing under one, that pile of shit would just fall on your head. This is full-blown giraffe shit, and it's another shitty ballad. That's 2 out of 6 songs are shitty ballads. Next, number 7 is Rock Me Baby. This is pterodactyl shit. Imagine a pterodactyl way back, hundreds of years ago, flying over you, and it drops its shit on you. That's what this song is. This one has horns all over it. There's piano. I don't mind that in a good song. In this song, it's just like Peter Criss thought, or somebody thought, let's just throw everything in there and put it out. Next is number 8, Kiss the Girl Goodbye. This is I think we're gonna graduate from pterodactyl shit to stegosaurus shit, the largest dinosaur to ever roam the earth. And so I would imagine their shit is pretty big, and this song is a pretty big pile of shit. And it's another shitty ballad. It sucks. Thankfully, only 2 more, and we'll be out of our misery. Hooked on Rock and Roll. This one is, I guess, keeping with the prehistoric theme. I would call this one woolly mammoth shit. They had those big tusks, those really, really long tusks. just a horrible, horrible song, Hooked on Rock and Roll. And then the last one is Can't Stop the Rain. This has got to be blue whale shit. The blue whale is the largest fish ever to live in the sea, and probably to ever live in the ocean as well. And just imagine, my God, if it's the biggest animal ever, their shit must have been massive, maybe bigger than a boat. And that's what this song is. The 10th song is the worst of all of them, I think. And it's another shitty, horrible, horrible ballad. That's what I think about Peter Criss's album. And I do feel, although I take some, I get some satisfaction about getting this out, and it's maybe a little bit cathartic. I do feel a little bit bad, because God, I love Kiss so much. I have Peter Criss tattooed right here. And he had some great songs in Kiss. But I don't know what happened with this album. I don't know. So there it is. Yeah, all right. So more good Kiss albums coming up, including 2 more solo albums. I've only talked about Ace's and now Peter's. And if you do the math, if you do the Kiss math, you can probably figure out the other 2 that I'm going to talk about. So until then, they're going to come at some point. This is, I'll say it again, the worst album ever recorded in the history of music. This is Peter Criss's 1978 /solo/Kiss album. Bah!